Induction is obviously a traditional area for e-learning. It's been widely used there for a long time. We've had a global induction course up for a very long time, which is good because a lot of people who join us in Abu Dhabi or Kiev or even in New York, they may have never heard of Clifford Chance nor understand the global nature of the firm. But what's exciting now is we're trying to move, in a lot of firms, we're trying to reduce the amount of time people spend in classrooms because it's not usually very profitable. People tend to forget what they're hearing. They're traumatized their first week anyway. So we're trying to move as much of that stuff online as we can and then save the classroom things for more networking and welcoming activities. Another thing we're doing is we have a lot of IT people who come in here. Again, move that stuff offline and out of the firm entirely. So people, once after they're hired, but before they join, they're going to take a special UK IT induction course that eventually we hope to roll out to all new joiners in the firm everywhere. And what's good about this is that they can take a medical assessment online. They can fill out the non-disclosure agreement, a bunch of other confidentiality things before they join. So they take care of all that stuff, and then they just present the fruits of that to the security guard when they come, and they'll get their pass. So again, the less time we spend them languishing in classrooms and more time they can hit the ground running. That's the theory with that. Compliance as well. We have a standing grant of authority from the Law Society of England and Wales, and also from the State Bar of New York and a number of other accrediting bodies around the world. So our e-learning courses do provide accreditation, continuing education accreditation for our lawyers, and that's just generally so they can keep in compliance there. And just informal compliance in terms of risk and anti-money laundering courses, one for lawyers, one specifically for business services staff, which is fairly unusual. Day in the life of a lawyer risk course. And we just completed a new conflicts course where we have a system here, a pretty elaborate system, and if you're a major law firm, conflicts are a big headache. So our lawyers and secretaries have to fill in new matter forms, new client forms all the time, but a lot of times they don't really understand the seriousness or the need for putting down quality information in particular areas. So what we've done is we created an e-learning course showing them how to fill in the form, but also providing them with context around why it's important that they fill in the form. And I think once they understand that, hopefully the quality of information they provide is going to be better than it is now, and that'll hopefully boost productivity because there's nothing worse than going back and forth, the compliance center having to ask to get more information. We were very successful in using e-learning to show our cyber templates and how they work. These are sort of smart templates that some lawyers joining the firm may never have used before. And we did the same thing with house style, showing the toolbars and things, and with our client relationship management database. So what we're trying to do is reduce the number of software applications we have, but for the big ticket ones that remain, we want to try to e-learn virtually all of them, particularly, like I said, if it's a major change management rollout. The thing is about these they're fairly expensive, and web pages tend to change fairly regularly. So what we're also trying to do is developing a local capability, creating some courses ourselves and not using professional design help. So, for example, we purchased a product called Camtasia. There are many other products out there, so I'm not advocating for them particularly. But there's Captivate and a few others. But we're doing a course on London corporate research. So this course obviously is going to be specific to London, to corporate, to UK law. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense to spend money to do something that's globally appealing in this. So we've got our professional support lawyers and knowledge people creating this course ourselves. And when you think the scope is enormous, we've got 28 offices and say 6 different practice areas. So we're talking about 168, say, possible specific legal research courses in those areas, so it wouldn't be feasible to outsource that. Lawyers have been historically pretty comfortable with the idea of providing legal skills, know-how, technical skills, so they'll finish a deal and they'll say, this is how we handle this particular transaction or this particular project, and that will go into our legal skills database that's searchable by other lawyers. But what we're increasingly looking for now is the context around that. How to be a lawyer in some sense. So how did you handle the client in that tricky negotiation? Or we did a course recently called Taking Control of Your Life, which is, using time management and meeting skills and delegation skills to try to free up some time so you do get a better quality of life along the way. And these are done very simply, just by recording a partner or a few partners in conversation. And we call them client-focused conversations if they're about the clients, or best practice conversations about best practice generally. And they're quick and dirty. They don't take that long to produce. They're inexpensive, and lawyers tend to like that too. We just capture people talking, sharing their experience. So what we'll do is we'll just have a structured conversation, a few bullet points under each topic, so the interviewer knows where the interviewee wants to go and can probe. But that's about all we do. And then we just take that, we do some minimal editing and put it up. We're going to create conversations called knowledge conversations as well. So we have our internal know-how people talking about how do we capture things, how do we store it, how do we make it available to our people. So again, I just think we're trying to get as many people contributing, as many voices as we can get contributing around the firm.